Top of the morning to you, or afternoon or evening, whenever you may be watching. My name is Scott. I represent the SL in GameSLAM here with Mike today. Mike is joining us, continuing his internship, which has extended here past the summer. We will get into the details of where Sergio is. I know everyone is probably concerned, but rest assured, this is a special episode. I'm putting it under GameSLAM Unplugged, but really you could put it under Mission Nostalgia, Collector's Vault. There's a number of ways you could put this into a different series, but really what happened is I was planning to put a video together either with someone or by myself for an end of summer 2020 recap of off-camera pickups. And then what happened? Gosh darn it, Labor Day weekend happened. And I just had some unprecedented pickups and some events occur that I didn't see coming. So we're going to dive into what happened, how much I have into these pickups, as well as the value of the haul overall. And then we're actually going to end the episode with a small teaser for a future GameSLAM endeavor that I think you guys are really going to like. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So to set the stage for what happened, where did this happen, I want to first address the Sergio situation briefly. Sergio is doing well financially. That's a nice way of saying the man knows how the stock market works. And he timed his investments in a way that he's doing real well right now. And for Labor Day weekend, he was actually able to take a pretty all-inclusive cruise on the SSN. So that's where Sergio was when all these events unfolded. Mike, on the other hand, is in an unpaid internship with us. And so he actually joined me on a men's retreat of sorts on the west side of the state, the west side of the Mitten. And what we did is we hit a couple of garage sales, and then we had what I guess I'll just vaguely call part two of this pickups. So we'll start with the garage sale. I was with a friend of mine, good friend of mine, dear friend of mine, and we were waiting for a table at a brewery, and lo and behold, there were a couple garage sales nearby, and so we had a 30-minute wait, and I was the one who was like, hey, can we go to some garage sales? And this friend of mine is not really into retro games. He mostly plays like PS4. And so we went to a first garage sale and didn't really look like they had anything. My friend actually picked up some pint glasses. And I asked the lady running the tables, do you have any old video game stuff? And she said, no, this is a lot of like my mom's old stuff. I said, oh, okay, well, have a nice day. We walked back to the car, and my friend kind of giggled, and he's like, did you really think they would have stuff? And I was like, you never know. That's basically what I said. I said, you never know. If I have learned anything from Austin Morgan, you never know, and it doesn't hurt to ask. So we went to the second garage sale a couple miles down the road because we were still waiting for the table. And we go there, and as soon as we get there, funny enough, the lady says to me, hey, just so you guys know, we're pretty picked over at this point. It was a Saturday afternoon, and she was like, you know, from Friday morning through now, we've gotten pretty picked over. And so we just kind of chatted for a bit because we were killing time waiting for our table. And I just posed the question. I said, hey, do you have any old video game stuff you're looking to get rid of? And she said, what do you mean exactly? What are you looking for? I said, Game Boy, PlayStation, Nintendo. And she looks at her son, who's like 12 or 13, and she's like, don't you have that like DS you don't really use anymore? And he's like, yeah, I don't really use that. I was like, I would be interested. And so what they did is they brought out this Super Mario hard case for a Nintendo 3DS. So we have the regular black 3DS first generation, It's not in the best condition. It's definitely kind of got some wear to it, but it is working. I checked all the buttons. It powers up. It charges. It came with 2 of these styluses. It's kind of packed in the case here, but we got 2 full stylus with that. It fits nicely in this case. We also got 6 3DS games that were a part of this case. I'm just gonna read them off. Wreck-It Ralph, Lego Batman 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Lego Jurassic World, Mario Kart 7, that was one that caught my eye, and Lego City Undercover, as well as a charger for it, and Super Mario Maker 3DS with the box. In addition to Super Mario Maker, we also have a couple of first generation DS games, Zoo Tycoon and Lego Batman. I already have them both. Those will be traded in. So at first I didn't see the 6 3DS games in the back of that case, and I only saw the 3DS and the 3 games, and the lady was like, could you maybe do like 40 for these? And I was gonna counter, but then I saw those other games in the back with Mario Kart 7, and I did the quick calc in my head of between the 3DS, Mario Kart 7, and Mario Maker, 40 is a good offer, and I took it. So we were $40 into that, and per some estimated values, selling values between pricecharting.com, and I kind of ballparked the 3DS in the condition it was in. We're looking at about $110 in value for those. So I was pretty happy with the start of the weekend from that, but it only got better. So the start of what I'm calling part 2 occurred with my friend who was with Mike and I on the West Coast men's retreat. And we stayed at his parents' house because they were a little closer to the park we wanted to go to. And I stayed in like his brother's old room. And I saw something sitting there, a handheld console. And I said, hey, any interest in selling that? Is that getting any use? And he's like, you'd have to check with my parents because my nephews, my brother's kids, come over and play with stuff, and I guess they maybe use it. I was like, oh, okay. So later I followed up with his mom. I'm like, hey, I saw that little handheld thing, and I didn't see any games with it or batteries. Does that get used? And she's like, we can't even figure out how to use that thing and can't find any games. You can just have it. And I was like, thank you very much. And that is how I picked up this green Game Boy Pocket. I actually have never owned a Game Boy Pocket, and I wanted to bring this up because as a kid, I didn't understand the Game Boy Pocket. I thought it was really dumb because I was like, it's the same, it's like 2% smaller than a Game Boy Color. Why would they come out with this? I didn't know much about the original Game Boy when I was a kid, so I didn't understand how much smaller this was than the original Game Boy. But also, if you guys remember the contrast dial, where you can like change, it's not even brightness, but it's like how like saturated the graininess of it is, or like how light it is. I just think this is a really like gimmicky thing that Nintendo introduced in the line, and I'm happy to have one because it's in pretty good condition. I really like this green, and I got it for free, about $30 value for something like this. So that was kind of what kicked off part 2. So jumping back to a little story time, we ended up hanging out the rest of that Saturday, like after the brewery, and we were both kind of tired later, and we were just hanging in his living room, and there wasn't really any sports on for a while, and we did what any group of friends in their mid-20s would do on a Saturday night, and that's watch GameSLAM. So we started watching some GameSLAM, and he kind of looked at my layout here, and he said, you know what, I forgot to tell you, but when I moved out of my parents' house, I set aside some stuff for you. And I was like, oh, cool. And basically, because we had kind of talked about what I do, how I do what I do, and how if there's games I get that I don't want, I just trade them in for trade credit at a game store. And if there's something I get doubles of, I'll usually trade that in as well. And so he made the deal with me, which seemed very fair, which was, he's like, I'm going to give you all that stuff that I don't want anymore. If you trade any of it in, can I have a third of, whatever trade value you get? I said, absolutely, because I would be getting none of this stuff without him, and he didn't ask for any cash on top of that. So what I want to show you guys is when he moved out of his parents' house, his mom marked this box, games from the closet, and then you can see in pen, it says my name right underneath that. So I was considered while this move was happening because of what we do here, and there is just overwhelming generosity that was shown, which you will quickly see. And what I'm gonna do is like rip through the kind of mediocre stuff and take a little more time on the cool stuff, but we're gonna dive right into it. So we're gonna start from kind of the lower tier items and work our way up. But I just want to reiterate, because I didn't really make it that clear, besides the distribution of the trade value. I really thought my friend going into this weekend just had like a PS1 lying around that he was going to give me. So I had no idea that this massive of a collection was coming my way. So again, starting from the bottom now, we're here. This is just a box of empty cases. These are all PlayStation 3 cases, mostly sports titles, with the exception of one PS2 game, Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. So these are case only. Unfortunately, we couldn't find the gosh darn games to go with them, but I'm gonna keep them because if I find disc only in the future, I can link the two and sell them. Continuing in this lower tier, we have a CD case of disc only where we didn't have the case, but there's some good ones. So like I said, I'm gonna just rip through them. We've got Roller Coaster on the PS2, and I'll take a few out that warrant some follow-up. So right here we've got Jak 2. Okay, so Jak and Daxter is very high on my want to play list, as well as we have one of the Ratchet and Clank games, Ratchet Deadlocked. So those both warranted pulling out of the case. We have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and Sly 3, one of the Sly Cooper games. Also really want to play those. Didn't have them before this weekend. Sammy Sosa Baseball 2001 and X-Men Legends. Continuing on, we have NHL 99 and 007 Night Fire. We have Tony Hawk's Underground 2 and the first Ratchet and Clank Greatest Hits that will most assuredly be on Friday Night Rentals at some point. And none of these Tony Hawk games matched up to that case, by the way. I double checked. Next up, got some empty slots in the case. We have Greatest Hits Jak and Daxter 1 and the special features of Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. So we don't have the movie, but we have the special features. But like I said, Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank will get their own episodes in Friday Night Rentals. Moving on, we have two of the Jam packs, which were those PlayStation demo compilations you could buy for like $5 to $8. Basically a compilation of 8 new titles that were coming out, and you could play like a 30-minute demo of each of those games. It was basically Friday Night Rentals before we were our show. And versus think about the dollar value, renting a game for, let's say, $5 for a weekend, you could buy the jam pack for $5 and try out like 8 games. And these have a value of about mostly like $3 to $4 each. Some of them like $2, but he had a lot of them, and some of them you will see in case. So moving on from there, I gotta pull this one out because this is a national champion, people. March Madness NCAA 06, Raymond Felton, 2005 North Carolina Tar Heels should not have won that tournament. Illinois should have won, but gosh darn it, he's on the cover. Next up, we have some good ones here. We have Jack 3, and we also have Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, which I've heard is one of the better ones. And I also talked to my friend, and he said Jack 3 was the best of the Jack games. Continuing on, we're getting towards the end of the disc only. FIFA 2001 and Red Card 2003, couple soccer games. And I want to say this is the last one here, so I'll pull it out. We have Jack X Combat Racing. So there's a good chunk of solid pickups there that I'm not worried about the lack of completeness because I will be playing the games. Unfortunately, you typically cannot trade in games that are disc only unless it's like a valuable game, like when I traded in Pokemon XD. So for those, it's kind of unfortunate, like Red Card Soccer, for example. But you never know. Maybe I'll find the case someday, and also maybe I'll play it at some point. So for getting it for free, that is no issue. Honing in on what I would call the mid-tier of the pickups, we have complete games, people, case and disc. So I'm going to start with PlayStation 1 because those were kind of in the same area, and then PS2 and PS3 are kind of scattered throughout, being the similar shape. So let's dive into the PS1 games. We have Destruction Derby 2, and I'll pause on any that I want to. We have Tekken 3 Greatest Hits. We have, you'll see it right in the corner there, Crash 2. And this one, interesting enough, is not in a legitimate Greatest Hits case. You'll see the difference here. You see the black bar right here versus this. So that might be something I want to swap out for like a lower tier Greatest Hits game. But since we already have Crash 2, probably going to be one I trade in. We also have a game I did not have but I really wanted, Crash Team Racing Greatest Hits. And this game was a ton of fun as a kid. One of my friends who had a PS1, we would play this and Crash Bash pretty often. And I've been looking to pick this one up for a while, just for the right price. And I remember a couple years ago when Austin and I were at a store, and I happened to pick up that Spyro instead of CTR when they were about the same price. So I have CTR now. Definitely not trading that one in. And we also have Gran Turismo, which I do already have, so that will be a trade-in. Lower tier, we got Madden 98, and we also have the Namco Museum 3. Shout out Miss Pac-Man, the original Woman Crush Wednesday. Now here's an interesting one. Rugrats Greatest Hits, Rugrats Search for Reptar. This game is worth about $15. And when I say that, the values I am using is based off PriceCharting.com. Just wanted to quickly rip through the prices. That does not mean I would get $15 for trade credit, but I would say you can roughly estimate that you probably get about 50% of that value. If you're getting a cash offer, less than 50% for sure. But this game alone, which maybe I'll keep it, maybe not, I can probably get $6, $7, $8 for it in trade credit. And we also got Spyro Greatest Hits, another one on the top shelf. So thrilled to get those. Moving along, we got one of the aforementioned jump packs. We got another one I'm going to pause on. Spyro Greatest Hits, Ripto's Rage. And I did verify the discs are in all these, by the way. So I was thrilled to see that one because it's another one that I actually almost got this recently when I was at a game store with Dan and Austin using some of my trade credit. So now that I got it for free, I'm like, that was a good time to hold off from it. We got Frogger 2. It's a fun pick up and put down. We have Army Men 3D. I would also put it in that category. It's a fun game to pick up and put down. Not going to sink a lot of hours into it, but I have one in my hand that you would want to sink a lot of hours into. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. This was a sweet game, and I already do have it, so it'll be a resale, but value's 15 to 20. So that's going to be a great one to add to the trade credit list as well. Getting towards the end of PS1, we have the Rascal demo CD, which I really haven't seen before. I looked it up and it wasn't very prominent on any of the the value listings I was looking at, but it looks like maybe $6 to $8. So even though it's not for resale and it's a demo, it's not crazy valuable, unfortunately. Sydney 2000 Olympics, we have Superbike 2000, and the last PlayStation 1 game, which still pulls on the heartstrings for me, especially because I only had disc only for this. So now I have the case to add to Final Fantasy VII. All 3 discs are in here. Yes, it was that long of a game that you needed 3 discs. And let me just read you let me just show you the quote on the back of this. Oh, it's kind of backwards. It says, "Quite possibly the greatest game ever made." I wouldn't go that far, but it tells you how, for its time, it was known. So, great PS1 pickups. Moving on to the rectangular complete games. Again, gonna fly through the ones we don't really care about. NCAA Football 09 PS3. Shout out Matt Ryan. That's Austin's favorite quarterback. We have another good one here. We have Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. This is one that I kind of forgot about because I typically just attribute Spyro to PS1 for that first wave, but hey, I'm down to play a PS2 Spyro. Wanted to show you guys this game. So Time Splitters Future Perfect, $26 value. So could potentially get $15 in trade credit for this. Pretty excited for that. Because no, I'm not really. You guys may not know this by watching these videos, but I'm not really into the shooter games. Doesn't really move the needle for me. We have Thrillville PS2, and we have Thrillville Off the Rails, followed up by Destroy All Humans. That one does look kind of fun though, after I said I don't really like shooter games. We have Black. Don't really know much about that, but it looks like a lot of bullets there. We have another jam pack. This is the Summer 2003 edition. That is when I was going into my 3rd grade class. 007 Agent Under Fire. I have that on the GameCube, but it's with like a GameStop case, so I like having it with the original case. Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. So we do have a complete Ratchet and Clank, as well as Sly 2, also complete. So I'm glad we got some of those heavier hitters complete, as well as the rest of the series disc only. SOCOM Combined Assaults, Dave Mira 2 Freestyle BMX, another jam pack, actually another 2 jam packs. We have Summer 2001 and we have Summer 2002 with our homeboy Sora in the top there. One more little stack of rectangular games. We have Borderlands 2 for the PS3. We have GoldenEye Rogue Agent. We have Time Shift. We have another jam pack with my boy Titus. Shout out Titus. He's right there. We have Destroy All Humans 2, which, I guess, spoiler alert for the first game, they didn't destroy quite all the humans. Killzone 2, PS3. SOCOM Confrontation. And, if you see the shirt I'm wearing here, we have Sonic the Hedgehog PS3. And I didn't remember them making this game. Because it's been, historically Genesis, and it's like, where are they going to go after things didn't really work out for Sega? So, pretty excited to play this game, too. Grand finale, people. We have consoles. Yes, consoles plural. So, like I said at the beginning, I thought that my friend was just giving me like his old PS1. Maybe he mentioned PS2 as well, but all those games were bonuses, and I am more than happy to give him a third of, whatever I trade in. So, first of all, we have a PS1 standard bonus game check. Bonus game. March Madness 99. Let's see, North Carolina. Guess is Antoine Jameson. I'd have to look it up, but guess is Antoine Jameson. This also came with the cords and a really, really good condition controller. I mean, not sticky joysticks, buttons, plastic buttons feel good, rubber buttons aren't worn off, and just feels good in the hand. So, might even be a slight upgrade from my own controller. We also did get the PlayStation 2, and I do have this boy plugged in, so we can do a bonus game check. So I'm just gonna pop this out. Hopefully that's a good angle. Bonus game, yes. Tony Hawk, American Wasteland. I actually have that right here. That was the one PS2 game I thought was empty. So I guess that is complete as well. And as you can see, the cartridge, or whatever, the conveyor, I don't know what simple machines are, is going in and out pretty smoothly. That came with the cords, and this controller, not great condition. I mean, sticky joysticks. The buttons are okay. The buttons are fine. Rubber buttons are fine. It's a DualShock 2, but sticky joysticks, like one of mine. But you can clean that up pretty easily. I think my main controller had sticky joysticks when I got it. So the last grand finale piece, yeah, that wasn't it. I still can't believe that I got this because, again, I thought I was getting just a PS1. But I got a PlayStation 3 with the box. No controller, but yes, cords, and I have like 79 HDMI cords, so we're good there. But the box is in great shape. It's a box I can add, and like for someone who wasn't using this to have kept this box, I was pretty floored when I got that. So, I mean, I told him when he gave me these consoles, like, just so you know, like, I might be trading them in, I might be keeping them, like, I hope you're not expecting, like, money for, like, I'll pay for them if you want me to, but in this trade credit thing, and he's like, he's straight up said, he's like, if I get $5 for this stuff, like, that would be fine. And I was like, at the minimum, I'm giving you 30, man. And I think we will get much more than that. I totaled up the market value of all this stuff, just not including that first garage sale haul, and we're looking at approximately $435. So that's not what I would get in trade credit per se, but that's like the fair market value of all this stuff. I'm going to keep the majority, but for all the stuff I trade in, I'm just going to give my friend a third at a minimum of like $30, and we'll go from there. So what a weekend. I mean, Mike, the fact that he got to tag along too, what a freaking weekend. And to close up shop here, I did want to just tease something for the future. I mentioned at the beginning, I want to tease something for the future, which is that I initially was I have some other games that I've gotten off camera that I want to show, and other non-games but related things. One of them is already displayed. I couldn't wait for that. But because of this haul, I had to get its own episode, right? So I have some ideas in the works for the end of the year, and I just want to put a teaser out there because you're gonna see some stuff that you've never seen before, and you're going to get some accolades that you may not have been expecting. That's probably the best way I can describe it. Yes, folks, we will be having the first annual Slammies, the Slammy Awards at the end of 2020. There will be Best Pickup in 2020, Best Retro Game I Played, Best New Game I Played. The list will go much further than that. We will have guests, we will have snacks, we will have certainly games, and I'm really excited for that. So I just wanted to announce that because the fall is going to fly by in a freaking heartbeat. And I want to thank you guys for watching this one. And I remember now one of my marketing correspondents, his name is A-Bag. He tragically died to a Dodrio drill peck. He wanted me to pass on some other ways you can connect with us. That is to subscribe to the channel if you are new. We have new content coming out whenever I put out new content, very sporadically. And also we have a Instagram page that our friend Austin runs with pickups just coming all the freaking time. So GameSLAM Duo on Instagram, and we are the channel you're watching on YouTube. So hit that subscribe if you like the content, and stay tuned. There will be more content beforehand, but stay tuned for the Slammy Awards at the end of the year. I think you guys are gonna like it. So with that, Mike and I are gonna get out of here. Please leave a thumbs up down below if you did enjoy today's episode, and we will see you next time. GameSLAM signing off. Whoever invented the wireless controller, you have my sincerest thank you.